What if I told you that creating a peaceful and relaxing nano tank is easier than you think? It all depends on the fish that you pick. So sit back and relax as I share my top 5 choices that are not only stunning and adorable, but also super chill. Welcome to the Smallscape. Alright, so the key in today's video is to unwind with the perfect chill nano tank vibe. So first off, my first choice, and these are not necessarily in any kind of order, but it's the chili rasbora, and I also say and company because there are so many others that you can choose that are very, very similar. And that's also the dwarf rasbora. Very similar is also the mirror rasbora. All 3 of them have a really beautiful red color. They have kind of like a nice little activity level. They kind of school together, they kind of poke around the tank, and you can keep them in extremely small tanks. Like this little group I have in a 3-gallon. And I think another fine choice is the exclamation point rasbora. Not quite as red, but similar sized and a really nice low-key energy level. And along with my 5 picks, I will also share things that I would have changed in the scapes that you're going to be seeing, and also other tips to make it even more chill. And an honorable mention, plus at the end, 1 nano fish that I would not pick, that you will probably disagree with me. My second choice is the one and only, the Galaxy rasbora, otherwise known as the CPD or the Celestial Pearl Danio. This is going to be the only, one of 2 Danios that I will be mentioning. Otherwise, no Danios in my tanks. They're too active. But the Emerald Dwarf rasbora is also very similar. Now the CPD has kind of like a Starry Night kind of pattern. It's got like little spots, whereas the Emerald Dwarf rasbora has vertical stripes. They're kind of similar, kind of different, but similar sized, similar activity level, and love them both. But just to note, the Emerald Dwarf is a little bit more shy. Now in this tank, I would definitely change the blue background. I think it competes with the blue on the fish. Plus, with this type of rock, I definitely would have used way more plants to kind of increase that cozy factor. So for choice number 3, it's the Ember Tetra. I love these fish. Not only do they have a beautiful orange color in those tiny little bodies, this is an Aqua Top 5-gallon that I did a number of years ago. This was one of my favorite tanks. I also included a honey gourami, which is kind of another honorable mention. I would include them as well. I find them very, very peaceful to watch, and just with their little motion and their little arms, I find them very relaxing. I don't know if you agree, or maybe not, but I will spend a little extra time on this particular tank because I think there's also a lot you can learn, or rather things that you can start looking out for so that you can figure out what makes a relaxing scape to you. Like right here, the light. I think the light makes a huge difference of whether or not a tank you might feel is relaxing or chill or not. And this one in particular, I actually have just wax paper along the back, and I had a kind of like a light that you can change the color on sitting behind the tank. So some of the time I didn't have the light on top of the tank on. I would just have it behind it, and it kind of gave a very cool effect. And the other thing that I did with this tank is after I was done scaping it, I added things. So depending on if you had a specific vision, if you had an idea, you put it together and it's just not cutting it, that's when you can make some changes. Either take some rock away, add some more driftwood, add more plants. I think the more plants you have, the cozier and more relaxing vibe you're going to have. Next up on the list are neons, and there are specifically 2 types of neons that I personally would put on my chill list, and that is due to the color of them and also their activity level. I think they are kind of, I call it poking. When they kind of poke around the tank, they kind of shoal together, and they're just very relaxing, and I think certain colors can definitely lend to a chill vibe, and that would be the black neon because it has a little bit of blue, and then of course the green neon because it's got shades of green, turquoise, blue, purple, and they're just I find them very relaxing to watch. And probably neons, I would generally keep them in a tank 15 gallons and more. And mystery snails, I would include them definitely in a chill tank, because not only do they have beautiful colors, but just their very slow activity level. They're kind of like the puppy dogs of the aquatic world, and I think just watching them for a few minutes every day, it'll really bring down your blood pressure. Plus, if you know me, I will take any opportunity to tell you the great combo of the magenta mystery snail and the green neon. I mean, come on. I just realized that I do have a bonus, so this is number 5. This is the Corydoras. So cories, who doesn't love cories? And I am definitely very curious if you all will agree with me and whether or not this fish makes the cut for a chill tank. I think it does. If you have a small tank, maybe a 5-gallon, 8-gallon, the pygmy cories are perfect because they are so tiny. But then there are just so many different cories. You have the panda cory. Who doesn't love the panda cory? The gold laser cories. There's just so many different kinds, flavors, colors, and I think they're just so cute. They're so fun to watch, and they just really contribute to a chill vibe. Here is my 6th choice, and then I will get to the kind of the honorable mention, and then of course the one that I would not recommend. The Florida least killie, or the Heteranodon formosa, is one of the tiniest. It's like the 7th smallest freshwater fish. I adore these fish, and I don't think that I could ever have nano tanks without having at least one tank with these little guys in them. They're so small, they're very peaceful, just very slow moving, just poking around the tank, and they are pretty much the most chill, and they're so tiny that they could even fit in the smallest of tanks, and including this little pond scape that I put in a basket. Now you can see on the bottom also in this tank is my honorable mention, and that is the shrimp. If you have a tiny tank, if you have any kind of nano tank, I would highly recommend keeping shrimp. Of course, make sure that you do your research and make sure that you know whether or not they can go with the other inhabitants, if you have other inhabitants in your tank. But I think they are probably, hands down, the most chillest occupant. And here is my choice for the fish that I would not pick for a chill nano tank, and that is the green Cubitai rasbora. I am pretty sure that I'm going to be in the minority of people who would not call them chill, but I find that their movement is it's just a little too twitchy, too fast. I've never actually gotten really good footage of them because they are so fast. Are they a beautiful color? Yes. Do they blend in with most of your green plants? Yes. So their color you could probably consider to be very relaxing and chill. I just personally wouldn't pick them. So let me know which ones you agree with, which ones did I leave out, and give me your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching and relaxing with me today. See you next week.